6 months passed after the cave discovery. Tai-ho sat in a large meeting room at the Korean Space Agency. Men and women in uniforms and suits talked loudly around him. Ji-woo sat next to him, looking nervous. "Do you think they'll really do it?" she whispered. Before Tai-ho could answer, the room went quiet. A woman in a dark blue uniform walked in. She had short hair and sharp eyes that missed nothing. This was Captain Yoon-ji Kang, one of Korea's best space pilots. "Dr. Kim, Dr. Park," she said, nodding to them. "I've read your reports. The government has decided to send a ship to these coordinates." Tai-ho's heart beat faster. For months, no one had believed them. But now, "You'll both join the mission," Yoon-ji continued. "We leave in 3 weeks." The ship was called the *Hanbit*, which meant one light in Korean. It was the newest and fastest ship ever built. Tai-ho watched from his small room window as Earth grew smaller behind them. He had never been to space before. "Scared?" Ji-woo asked, floating into his room. In space, there was no up or down. Excited, Tai-ho said, "We're the first humans to travel this far from Earth." "And all because of some marks on a wall," Ji-woo said. "I still can't believe it." A voice came over the speaker. "All crew to the main deck. We're making our first jump." The *Hanbit* had a new engine that could bend space. It let them travel great distances in a short time. Even with this new technology, the trip would take 3 months. On the main deck, Hyun-woo Lee, the ship's engineer, was checking screens. He was young with messy hair and always had a tool in his hand. "Ready for the first jump," he said to Captain Yoon-ji. "It will feel strange, but it won't hurt." "Do it," Yoon-ji ordered. There was a flash of light. Tai-ho felt like his body was being stretched and squeezed at the same time. Then it was over. "Jump complete," Hyun-woo said. "We just traveled farther than any human in history." 2 more months passed. The ship made many jumps. The crew settled into life in space. Do Yeon-choi, the security officer, set up training for everyone. Min-soo Ryu, the pilot, taught Tai-ho how to fly the small scout ships. One day, while Tai-ho was looking at star maps, an alarm sounded. "All crew to stations," Captain Yoon-ji's voice announced. "We've found something." Tai-ho rushed to the main deck. Through the big window, he saw it, a massive structure floating in space. It looked like a giant wheel with spokes coming from the center. Lights blinked along its surface. "Is it a ship?" Tai-ho asked. "No," Hyun-woo said, checking his screens. "It's a station. And it's old. Very old." "Any signs of life?" Yoon-ji asked. "No people," Hyun-woo said. "But the station has power. Something is running in there." Ji-woo stood next to Tai-ho, her eyes wide. "The coordinates led us right to it. Someone wanted us to find this place." Captain Yoon-ji made a decision. "Prepare a team. We're going to dock with the station." It took 3 hours to get close to the station. As the *Hanbit* approached, something strange happened. Lights on the station grew brighter. Doors that had been closed slowly opened. "It's responding to our approach," Hyun-woo said in surprise. "Almost like it was waiting for us," Tai-ho finished. The *Hanbit* docked with the station. The team put on spacesuits. Captain Yoon-ji, Tai-ho, Ji-woo, Hyun-woo, and Do-yeon would go first. As they entered the station, more lights came on. The air was good. They could take off their helmets. The walls were covered with symbols similar to those in the cave. "Look at this," Ji-woo called. She stood in front of a large door. As Tai-ho watched, the door opened by itself. Behind it was a vast room filled with glowing screens and strange machines. As they walked in, everything lit up, as if greeting them. "What is this place?" Do-yeon asked, her hand on her weapon. A soft blue light appeared in the center of the room. It formed into a shape that looked almost human. "Welcome, Curators," a voice said in perfect Korean. We have been waiting for you for a very long time. 6 months passed after the cave discovery. Taiho sat in a large meeting room at the Korean Space Agency. Men and women in uniforms and suits talked loudly around him. Ji-woo sat next to him, looking nervous. "Do you think they'll really do it?" she whispered. Before Taeho could answer, the room went quiet. A woman in a dark blue uniform walked in. She had short hair and sharp eyes that missed nothing. This was Captain Eun-ji Kang, one of Korea's best space pilots. "Dr. Kim, Dr. Park," she said, nodding to them. "I've read your reports. The government has decided to send a ship to these coordinates." Taiho's heart beat faster. For months, no one had believed them. But now, "You'll both join the mission," Eun-ji continued. "We leave in 3 weeks. The ship was called the *Hanbit*, which meant one light in Korean. It was the newest and fastest ship ever built. Taiho watched from his small room window as Earth grew smaller behind them. He had never been to space before. "Scared?" Ji-woo asked, floating into his room. In space, there was no up or down. "Excited," Taiho said. "We're the first humans to travel this far from Earth. And all because of some marks on a wall," Ji-woo said. "I still can't believe it." A voice came over the speaker. "All crew to the main deck. We're making our first jump." The *Hanbit* had a new engine that could bend space. It let them travel great distances in a short time. Even with this new technology, the trip would take 3 months. On the main deck, Hyun-woo Lee, the ship's engineer, was checking screens. He was young with messy hair and always had a tool in his hand. "Ready for the first jump," he said to Captain Eun-ji. "It will feel strange, but it won't hurt." "Do it," Eun-ji ordered. There was a flash of light. Taiho felt like his body was being stretched and squeezed at the same time. Then it was over. "Jump complete," Hyun-woo said. "We just traveled farther than any human in history." 2 more months passed. The ship made many jumps. The crew settled into life in space. Do Yeon Choi, the security officer, set up training for everyone. Min Soo Ryu, the pilot, taught Taiho how to fly the small scout ships. One day, while Taiho was looking at star maps, an alarm sounded. "All crew to stations," Captain Eun-ji's voice announced. "We've found something." Taiho rushed to the main deck. Through the big window, he saw it. A massive structure floating in space. It looked like a giant wheel with spokes coming from the center. Lights blinked along its surface. "Is it a ship?" Taiho asked. "No," Hyun-woo said, checking his screens. "It's a station. And it's old. Very old." "Any signs of life?" Eun-ji asked. "No people," Hyun-woo said. "But the station has power. Something is running in there." Ji-woo stood next to Taiho, her eyes wide. "The coordinates led us right to it. Someone wanted us to find this place." Captain Eun-ji made a decision. "Prepare a team. We're going to dock with the station." It took 3 hours to get close to the station. As the *Hanbit* approached, something strange happened. Lights on the station grew brighter. Doors that had been closed slowly opened. "It's responding to our approach," Hyun-woo said in surprise, almost like it was waiting for us. Taiho finished. The *Hanbit* docked with the station. The team put on spacesuits. Captain Eun-ji, Taiho, Ji-woo, Hyun-woo, and Do-yeon would go first. As they entered the station, more lights came on. The air was good. They could take off their helmets. The walls were covered with symbols similar to those in the cave. "Look at this," Ji-woo called. She stood in front of a large door. As Taiho watched, the door opened by itself. Behind it was a vast room filled with glowing screens and strange machines. As they walked in, everything lit up, as if greeting them. "What is this place?" Do-yeon asked, her hand on her weapon. A soft blue light appeared in the center of the room. It formed into a shape that looked almost human. "Welcome, Curators, a voice said in perfect Korean. We have been waiting for you for a very long time. Everyone froze. The blue light person floated in front of them, waiting. What do you mean, Curators? Captain Yunji asked. Her hand moved toward her gun. You are human, the light figure said. Humans are the Curators, the ones chosen to protect the knowledge of many worlds. Tahoe stepped forward. Who are you? Who built this place? I am a guide program, the figure said. I was made to help the Curators. This place is the archive. It holds the knowledge of 387 different worlds and their people. Jae-woo looked excited. Different worlds? You mean aliens? Yes, beings not from your planet. They are all gone now. Gone? Du Yun asked. Dead? Some died. Some moved to a place beyond this universe. Some were taken. The blue figure's light dimmed for a moment. The archive keeps their stories safe. Captain Yunji still looked worried. Why did you wait for humans? How did you know about us? The figure waved a hand. A big map of stars appeared in the air. The ones who built this place saw many possible futures. In most futures, humans would find this place. Hyunwoo walked around the room, looking at the strange machines. This technology is amazing. It's way beyond what we have. He touched a panel, and it lit up. Information in a strange language scrolled across it. Why can we understand you? Tahoe asked the figure. The archive reads your brains and speaks in a way you understand. Jae-woo's eyes went wide. It reads our brains. Only surface thoughts. Words. Images. Not private thoughts. Captain Yunji had heard enough. Everyone be careful. Don't touch anything else until we know more. She turned to the figure. Show us what this archive does. The figure nodded. The room changed around them. Suddenly, they were standing in what looked like a giant library. Paths of light led in many directions. This is the main index, the figure explained. Each path leads to knowledge from a different world. Tahoe looked down one path. He saw strange creatures with 6 legs working on tall buildings. Down another path, fish-like beings swam through a city underwater. You can see their histories, the figure said. Learn their science. Study their art. Everything they were is here. But why us? Ji-woo asked. Why humans? The figure led them down a new path. They came to a room with images of Earth from space. Next to it were pictures of human brains. Humans have special brains, the figure said. You can understand things in a way other species cannot. You see patterns. You ask why. You make new things from old ideas. That's just being human, Tahoe said. No, it is rare in the universe. Most beings follow patterns. Humans break patterns and make new ones. The figure pointed to a human brain image. You were made this way. Made? Yunji asked sharply. By who? The Forerunners. The last great alliance of species. They found early humans and helped your brains develop faster. Everyone was quiet, trying to understand what this meant. The Forerunners chose humans to be the next Curators. The figure continued. To learn from the past. To avoid old mistakes. To be ready. Ready for what? Du Yan asked. The figure's blue light turned darker, for when the harvesters wake up. Hyunwoo, who had been quiet, suddenly called out from across the room. Captain, you need to see this. They all walked over. Hyunwoo had opened a panel in the wall. Inside were controls that looked almost like those on their ship. These controls, he said in surprise. They're designed for human hands, human eyes. He looked up at them. This whole station was built for humans to use, but it's millions of years old. That's not possible, Captain Yunji said. Humans weren't even around then. The Forerunners saw the future, the blue figure said simply. They built this for you, for when you were ready. Tahoe felt a chill. You said all these other species are gone. What happened to them? The figure didn't answer right away. When it spoke again, its voice was softer. That is the first lesson the curators must learn. Please follow me. The blue figure led them down a long hallway. The walls showed moving pictures of strange worlds and creatures none of them had ever seen. These were the living worlds, the figure said, before the harvesters came. The images changed. Beautiful cities turned to ruins. Green planets became gray and dead. What are these harvesters? Captain Yunji asked. They entered a dark room. In the center floated a single image. It looked like a huge black cloud made of small machines, with red lights glowing inside it. This is a harvester swarm, the figure said. They consume everything. Metal, plants, animals, people, all become part of the swarm. Du Yun stepped closer to the image. Why do they do this? They want perfect order. They believe all life should be one. All thinking should be one. The figure's voice became sad. They take all that is different and make it the same. Where did they come from? Taiho asked. No one knows. They appeared at the edge of the galaxy long ago. They moved slowly from world to world. Nothing could stop them. Jaiwu looked scared. Are they still out there? They sleep now. The Forerunners fought them for 1,000 years. In the last battle, the Forerunners used a special weapon. It made the harvesters go into a deep sleep. So they're dead? Hyunwoo asked hopefully. No, only sleeping. And they will wake up. The room changed again. Now they saw a map of the galaxy. A red area was slowly spreading from one edge. This shows the harvester swarm waking up, the figure explained. It started 50 years ago, small at first, but growing. Captain Yunji looked closely at the map. How long until they reach Earth? At current speed, 30 Earth years. The room was quiet. 30 years wasn't much time. Can they be stopped? Taeho finally asked. The Forerunners thought so. That is why they built this archive. Why they chose humans to be curators. The figure waved its hand, and new images appeared. The archive has plans for weapons, ships, shields, all designed to fight the harvesters. Hyunwoo looked at the designs with wide eyes. This technology, it's amazing. We could never build this ourselves. Not yet, the figure agreed. But the archive will teach you. Do Yun, always the careful one, asked, why should we believe any of this? Maybe this is all a trick. The figure didn't seem upset by the question. You may return to Earth. Think about what you have seen. When you are ready to learn more, the archive will be here. Captain Yunji shook her head. We need proof to take back. You may take some archive data, the figure said, but not weapons plans. Not yet. First, humans must choose to be curators, all humans together. Suddenly, alarms started ringing through the station. Red lights flashed. What's happening? Jiwoo asked, looking around. The figure flickered. Warning. Deep space scan detects Harvester Scout. Distance, 2 light years and approaching. I thought you said they were 30 years away. Taho said. The main swarm is. This is a scout. It searches for new worlds. Captain Yunji didn't waste time. Everyone back to the ship. Now. Wait, the figure said. It moved to a wall and opened a hidden panel. Inside was a small silver disc. Take this. It contains basic archive data and a signal to find your way back here. Taiho took the disc and put it in his pocket. The scout must not find you, the figure warned. If it does, the main swarm will come sooner. You must hide your ship and return to Earth another way. How do we do that? Captain Yunji asked. The archive will help, but you must hurry. As they ran back to the asterisk, Hanbit asterisk, the station was changing around them. Lights dimmed, doors closed. It's hiding itself, Hyunwoo realized, making itself invisible. Back on the ship, Captain Yunji ordered everyone to their stations. Prepare for emergency departure. The blue figure appeared on their main screen one last time. Good luck, Curators. The fate of all remaining life now rests with humanity. The screen went dark, and somewhere in the darkness of space, a harvester scout was coming closer. Hide behind the large moon, Captain Yunji ordered. Min-Su, the pilot, moved the handbit asterisk quickly. The ship slipped behind a gray moon orbiting a giant planet near the archive station. Engines off, all systems quiet, the captain said. Everyone held their breath as the ship went dark. On the screen, they could see a small red dot. The harvester scout. It moved slowly, searching. It's scanning the area, Hyunwoo whispered, looking for technology. Will it find us? Ji-woo asked. I don't know, Hyunwoo said. He looked at the silver disc Taiho had taken from the archive. Maybe that can help. Taiho gave the disc to Hyunwoo. The young engineer studied it, then carefully connected it to the ship's computer. Strange symbols appeared on the screen. I can't read this, Hyunwoo said. Ji-woo looked at the symbols. I think I can. Everyone stared at her. These are like the symbols in the cave, but different. It's like, my brain knows what they mean. The archive said it changed human brains. Taiho remembered. Maybe it changed how we read too. Ji-woo nodded and began to read. It says the harvesters scan for energy and metal, but they can't see through water or thick rock. She looked up. We need to land on the moon and hide underwater. Land. Now. Captain Yunji looked worried. With that thing out there. The disc says there's a small lake on the moon's dark side. The scout won't look there. They had no better plan. Min-Su carefully flew the ship to the moon's dark side. They landed beside a dark lake and slowly moved the ship into the water. Now we wait, Captain Yunji said. While they waited, Taiho, Ji-woo, and Hyunwoo studied the disc. It contained more than just hiding instructions. It had star maps, alien histories, and basic archive data. But most interesting was the information about humans. Look at this, Ji-woo said, pointing to a section. It says humans have special brains. We can understand patterns other species can't see. And this part, Hyunwoo added. It says human hands are perfect for working with Forerunner technology. Taiho read from another section. The Forerunners watched early humans. They saw we were good at solving problems and working together. But we were developing too slowly. So they helped us evolve faster, Ji-woo said. They didn't change what we were. They just helped us become what we could be. It's hard to believe, Captain Yunji said. She had joined them to see what they found. Why would these Forerunners care so much about humans? Because they were dying, Taiho read. The war with the harvesters was their last act. They knew they wouldn't survive to fight when the harvesters woke again. They needed someone to continue, Du Yen said quietly. They chose us. The disc had more than just information. It had plans for engines, weapons, and shields. Technology far beyond what humans had. Can we build these things? Captain Yunji asked Hyunwoo. The young engineers studied the plans carefully. Some of it, yes. The basic designs, but the advanced parts. He shook his head. We would need the full archive to understand everything. How many archive stations are there? Taiho asked. Ji-woo found the answer. 12. All hidden across the galaxy. Each one has different parts of the Forerunner's knowledge. And we need to find them all, Du Yen said, before the harvesters fully wake up. After 2 days, the ship's sensors showed the harvester scout had left the area. It was safe to move again. Should we go back to the archive? Taiho asked. Captain Yunji thought for a moment. No, we need to warn Earth first. They need to know what's coming. As they lifted out of the lake and prepared for the long journey home, Taiho looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there were 11 more archive stations. Somewhere out there, the harvesters were waking up. Earth had 30 years to prepare. 30 years to accept a destiny no one had asked for. 30 years to learn how to save the galaxy. The Forerunners believed we could do this, Taiho said quietly. I hope they were right. The *Hanbit* landed back on Earth 3 months later. Crowds and news cameras waited for them. The crew had become famous during their journey home. Everyone wanted to know what they had found in space. But when they stepped off the ship, soldiers met them instead of cheering people. The soldiers took them to a large building with no windows. What's happening? Taiho asked a soldier. Security, the man said simply. For 2 days, government officials asked them questions. They wanted to know everything about the archive and the harvesters. Captain Yunji showed them the silver disc, but only Taiho, Jiwu, and Hyunwoo could read it. On the 3rd day, they met Sun Mayun. She was a scientist who also worked with the government. She had kind eyes and spoke softly. I believe what you found is real, she told them. And I think we should share this information with the whole world. Later that day, they met Jun Ho Kwan. He was a military commander with a hard face and cold eyes. This information is too dangerous to share, he said, if the archive chose Korea to find it. Then Korea should control the technology. The archive chose humans, not just Koreans, Taiho argued. All humans need to work together. Commander Junho didn't agree. Other countries will try to use this technology to make weapons. We can't trust them. That night, the crew met in secret. Captain Yunji looked worried. They're going to keep us here, she said. They want us to build weapons from the archive data. But we need all 12 archive stations to build the best defenses, Hyunwoo said. 1 disk isn't enough. And we only have 30 years before the harvesters come, Jiwoo added. Actually, Hyunwoo said, looking at his computer, I've been studying the data more carefully. The harvesters might wake up faster than we thought. Maybe in 20 years. Maybe less. Everyone was quiet. Then Du Yun spoke up. We need to tell the world. Now. The next morning, the crew was called to a big meeting. Leaders from the government and military sat around a table. Sun Mai and Commander Junho were there too. We've made a decision, the main leader said. The archive information will stay secret for now. You will all work in a special lab to develop new technology. That's not what the Forerunners wanted, Taiho said. They wanted all humans to work together. We can't risk other countries getting this technology first, Commander Junho said. But the harvesters are everyone's problem, Captain Yunji argued. The room grew loud as people argued. Sun Mai tried to speak, but no one listened. Commander Junho wanted to build ships with weapons. Others wanted to keep the technology for making money. That night, Taiho couldn't sleep. He walked to the lab where they kept the silver disc. Hyunwoo was there, working late. I can't just sit here while they argue, Hyunwoo said. I'm building something. He showed Taiho plans on his computer. It's a small device that can find the other archive stations. They won't let us leave to find them, Taiho said. I know, but someone needs to. The next day, Sun Mai came to see Taiho. I have a plan, she whispered. I've talked to scientists in other countries. They want to help. We can share the information secretly. Is that safe? Taiho asked. No, but neither is waiting. That evening, Du Yun found Taiho. Commander Junho is planning something, she said. He wants to take the Hanbit* and find the other archive stations before anyone else. He can't fly the ship without Min-Soo, Taiho said. He's trying to convince Min-Soo to help him. The crew was breaking apart. Captain Yunji followed rules and wanted to wait for proper orders. Hyunwoo built his device in secret. Sun Mai planned to share information with other countries. And Commander Junho wanted to find the archives first to build weapons. That night, an alarm woke everyone up. Taiho ran to the lab. The silver disc was gone. Who took it? He asked the guard. Dr. Park, the guard said. Jiwoo took it. Taiho couldn't believe it. Jiwoo had taken the disc. It made no sense. When did she leave? He asked the guard. An hour ago, with Captain Yunji and Min-Su. So Captain Yunji was involved too. Tae-ho ran to find Hyunwoo. The young engineer was in his room, packing a bag. "You knew," Tae-ho said. "You knew they were leaving." Hyunwoo nodded. "Captain Yunji got a secret message yesterday. A small colony on Mars stopped sending signals. No one knows why. What does that have to do with the disk? The captain thinks it might be the harvesters." She took Ji-woo and Min-Su to check. They needed the disk to see if it has information that can help. "Why didn't they tell me?" Tae-ho asked, feeling hurt. "The fewer people who knew, the better. Too many people are watching us." Hyunwoo zipped up his bag. "I'm going to follow them. I finished my device. It can track the disk." Before Tae-ho could answer, Do-yeon burst into the room. "Commander Junho knows they left. He's sending ships after them." Tae-ho made a quick decision. "We need to warn them and help them if we can." 3 days later, Tae-ho, Hyunwoo, and Do-yeon were on a small ship heading to Mars. Sunmai had helped them escape from Earth. She gave them a faster ship than the one Captain Yunji had taken. "We should reach Mars first," Do-yeon said. "But Commander Junho's ships won't be far behind." As they got closer to Mars, they tried to call the colony. No one answered. "Something is wrong," Tae-ho said. "The colony has 5,000 people. Someone should answer." They landed near the colony, a group of domed buildings in a large crater. Everything was quiet. No people moved outside. No lights were on inside. "Where is everyone?" Do-yeon asked as they put on their spacesuits. They walked to the main dome. The door was open. Inside, the air was still good, but it was dark and quiet. They took off their helmets. Tables had food on them. Cups were half full. It looked like everyone had left in the middle of normal life. "Check for people," Tae-ho ordered. "Maybe they're hiding." They searched the buildings. No one was there. No bodies. No signs of fighting. Just empty rooms. "They're all gone," Do-yeon said. 5,000 people can't just vanish." Hyunwoo called them to the colony's control room. "I found something." On a screen was a message from Captain Yunji. "If you're watching this, be careful," her recorded face said. "We found the colony empty. Ji-woo thinks the harvesters took them. We're following a strange signal to the North Pole of Mars. It matches a pattern on the disk." The recording ended. Hyunwoo checked his device. The disk is still on Mars, about 500 kilometers north of here. "Let's go," Tae-ho said. They flew their ship north. Near the pole, they saw another ship, the one Captain Yunji had taken from Earth. "There they are," Do-yeon said. But something was wrong. The ship was damaged. One side had a large hole in it. They landed nearby and ran to the damaged ship. Inside, they found Min-Su. He was hurt badly. "What happened?" Tae-ho asked, helping him. "Metal spiders," Min-Su whispered. "Hundreds of them. They came out of the ice. Attacked us. Took the captain and Ji-woo." "Metal spiders." Hyunwoo looked scared, like small machines. Min-Su nodded. "They said something as they took them. I heard it over the radio. They said, 'New material found. Harvesting begins.'" Tae-ho felt cold fear. The harvesters weren't just waking up. They were already here, on Mars. And they had taken the colony people. Taken Captain Yunji and Ji-woo. "What about the disk?" Hyunwoo asked. Min-Su pointed to a small box. Ji-woo hid it before they took her. Tae-ho picked up the box and opened it. The silver disk was still there, but there was something else too. A message written by Ji-woo. "Find the other archives. Warn Earth. They're coming sooner than we thought." Behind them, Do-yeon looked out the window. "Ships are coming. Commander Junho found us." But Tae-ho was looking at something else. A dark cloud moving across the red Martian landscape toward them. A cloud made of small, metal things with glowing red lights. "The harvesters," he whispered. "They're coming back. We need to leave. Now," Du Yun shouted. She helped Min Su to his feet, while Tae-ho grabbed the disc. "What about Captain Yunji and Jiwoo?" Hyunwoo asked. "We can't help them if we're caught too," Tae-ho said, though it hurt him to say it. They ran to their ship. The dark cloud of metal spiders was getting closer. They could now see thousands of small machines moving together like one big creature. "Hurry," Du Yun yelled as they got Min Su into the ship. Hyunwoo started the engines. The ship lifted just as the first metal spiders reached them. Some jumped and clung to the bottom of the ship. "They're on us," Tae-ho shouted. "Hold on," Hyunwoo said. He fired the engines to full power. The ship shot up so fast that they all fell to the floor. The sudden movement shook off the metal spiders. As they left Mars, they saw 3 Korean military ships approaching. "It's Commander Jun-ho," Du Yun said. "They're trying to contact us." "Don't answer," Tae-ho said. "We need to get to Earth." "But they're faster than us," Hyunwoo said. "They'll catch us." Tae-ho looked at the silver disc in his hand. "Maybe the disc can help us." He put it into the ship's computer. Strange symbols appeared on the screen. Tae-ho could now read them better than before. "It says there's a way to jump through space without normal engines," he told the others, "like a hidden path between stars." "Can we do it with this ship?" Du Yun asked. "I don't know, but we have to try." Following the disc's instructions, they set a new course. The military ships were getting closer. Then a bright light flashed, and suddenly they were far away from Mars, moving faster than any human ship had ever gone. "It worked," Hyunwoo said in amazement. "We're on a path the Forerunners made." They reached Earth in hours instead of days. But as they approached, they received hundreds of emergency messages. Something was happening. "Message from Sunma," Du Yun said. "She says a harvester ship appeared over New York City an hour ago." "What? How did they get to Earth so fast?" Tae-ho asked. "The Mars colony," Min Su said weakly from his bed. "They took the people and their technology, learned from it. They landed at a secret place Sunma had told them about. She was waiting with a group of scientists from different countries. The whole world saw the harvester ship," she said. "It hovered over the city for 20 minutes, then left. It didn't attack, but everyone is scared." "It was a warning," Tae-ho said. "They wanted us to know they're coming." "The good news," Sunma continued, "is that now everyone believes the threat is real. Even Commander Jun-ho." "Where is he?" Du Yun asked. "Here." Commander Jun-ho walked into the room. He looked tired but no longer angry. "I was wrong. This isn't just Korea's problem. It's everyone's problem." In the next few days, world leaders met in an emergency meeting. For once, old enemies put aside their fights. Everyone agreed. Humanity needed to work together or die together. Commander Jun-ho was put in charge of building Earth's defenses. Sunma led a new group to study the archive data. And Tae-ho, Du Yun, and Hyunwoo prepared for a dangerous mission to find the other archive stations. "What about Captain Yunji and Jiwoo?" Hyunwoo asked during a planning meeting. "We're sending ships to Mars to look for them," Commander Jun-ho said. But you don't think they're alive?" Tae-ho finished. "The harvesters don't usually keep people alive," Sunma said gently. "I'm sorry." That night, Tae-ho couldn't sleep. He looked at the disc again, searching for anything that might help find his friends. Suddenly, a new symbol appeared on the screen, one he hadn't seen before. "What's this?" he whispered. The symbol changed, forming words in Korean. "Curators, hear me," it said. "This is Jiwoo. I am alive, but not for long. The harvesters are coming faster than we thought. Their main fleet will reach Earth in 1 year, not 30. Find the archives. Learn how to fight. And whatever you do, Don't let them take your mind like they took mine. The message ended. Tai-ho sat in shock. Ji-woo was alive, somehow, but her warning was clear. They didn't have decades to prepare anymore. They had 1 year. 1 year passed quickly. The world changed more in that year than in the 50 years before it. Tai-ho stood on a high tower overlooking Seoul. The city looked different now. Giant metal shields rose from the ground around it. New buildings with strange designs stood among the old ones. The streets were full of people working, moving, preparing. "It's almost time," Du-yen said, joining him. She wore a new uniform with a patch showing Earth and the words Curator Defense Force. "Did we do enough?" Tai-ho asked. "Did we find enough?" In the past year, they had found 7 more archive stations. Each one had different knowledge, different technology, different warnings. They had learned so much, but was it enough? "Hyunwoo wants to see us," Du-yen said. He finished the shield. They went to a large room deep underground. Hyunwoo was there, working on a round metal device. Commander Junho and Sunmai stood nearby, watching. "It's done," Hyunwoo said. He looked tired but proud. The planetary shield. It should protect Earth from the first harvester attacks. "Should?" Commander Junho asked. "It's based on archive technology, but we built it with Earth materials," Hyunwoo explained. "I can't be sure it will work exactly the same." "It's our best hope," Sunmai said. "The ships we built can fight, but they can't stop all the harvesters. We need the shield." Tai-ho looked at the device. So small, yet it would create a shield around the whole planet. The Forerunner's technology still amazed him. An alarm sounded. Everyone's communicators beeped at once. "They're here," Commander Junho said. The harvester fleet just appeared near the moon. They rushed to the control center. On big screens, they could see hundreds of black ships coming toward Earth. Leading them was a ship larger than all the others. "The main ship is sending a message," a technician said. "It's in Korean." "Put it on," Commander Junho ordered. A voice filled the room. A voice Tai-ho knew well. "This is Captain Eun-ji Kang of the Harvester Command Ship. Earth will be harvested. Do not resist." "Eun-ji," Tai-ho whispered. "They took her too." "It's not her anymore," Du-yen said. "The harvesters have her body and her memories, but not her soul." Commander Junho stood tall. "Activate all defenses. Launch our ships. Turn on the shield." Around the world, ships lifted off. The shield generators powered up. Hyunwoo activated his device, and a soft blue glow spread from it, growing until it covered the sky. The battle began. Human ships, built with archive technology, flew to meet the harvester fleet. Weapons fired. Ships exploded. The blue shield flickered as harvester weapons hit it. "The shield is holding," Hyunwoo said, "but not for long. Their weapons are stronger than we thought." Suddenly, all the screens went dark. When they came back on, they showed Ji-woo's face. But her eyes were different, colder. "Ta-ho Kim," she said, "you cannot win. The harvesters have existed for millions of years. We have taken thousands of worlds. Your species is young, weak. We were chosen by the Forerunners," Tai-ho said, though he knew Ji-woo couldn't hear him. As if answering, Ji-woo smiled. "The Forerunners failed. You will fail too." The screens went back to showing the battle. The shield was weakening. More harvester ships were coming. "We need more power for the shield," Hyunwoo said. Tai-ho remembered something from one of the archive stations. The last archive. The one we never found. It had the most powerful technology. If we had that. "We don't have time to find it now," Commander Junho said. Sunmi's eyes widened. "Maybe we do." She pointed to a new message appearing on Tai-ho's tablet. Symbols from the archive, forming into words. "Final archive location. Earth's moon. Hidden since the beginning. Waiting for the day of need." "The last archive was right next to us all along," Tai-ho said. I'll go, Du Yin said. I can take a fast ship. I'm going to, Taiho said. We need to do this together. As they prepared to leave, Taiho looked at the battle in the sky. The shield was holding, but barely. Their ships fought bravely, but they were outnumbered. Everything depended on what they would find on the moon. The final piece of the Forerunners' plan. The final test of humanity. The Forerunners believed in us, Taiho said to Du Yun as their ship launched. Now we need to prove they were right. Above them, the battle for Earth continued. The battle for humanity's future. The battle that would decide if they truly were the curators the galaxy needed. End of Book 1.